Welcome to the awakening world.
I'm really excited because two of our favorite people are about to come and join us. And I am, of course, talking about those two gentlemen that speak from Source, wearing their new matching. Look at those groovy. I want one of those. Those are the grooviest jackets I have ever seen.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, you guys are the best. So most of you know Thomas Workman and AJ Kavanaugh, but for all of our friends watching on YouTube and Facebook, and oftentimes people just kind of spot us and it's like, wow, this is an interesting show. So let me tell you, they are the co-founders of Speaking from Source. AJ is an Arcturian starseed born in Melbourne, Australia, and he has a profound connection to the extraterrestrial realm and ancient Egypt. His spiritual gifts emerged in childhood, leading him toward a deep understanding of higher consciousness. And in 2022, he embarked on a transformative journey to Egypt, where a special meditation inside the Great Pyramid's King Chamber activated his consciousness grid and deepened his connection to ancient wisdom. Wow, isn't that a cool way for it to happen? Now, Thomas holds a PhD in communications, and he discovered his spiritual gifts while working with a mentor in Washington, D.C. Thomas is a lifelong learner, currently completing a doctorate in theocentric psychology. There's a good word for you, Susan. Expanding his knowledge of the mind, spirit, and higher consciousness. Now, what I love is you two are providing two very diverse and wonderful ways that we can wake up. So I am grateful for how you guys have woken up and shared your gifts and your wisdom. And they, of course, bring in wonderful channels. So let's just start with your non-channel selves, the two human beings, or the two spiritual beings having a human experience. What would you like to share with our audience about kind of your process of awakening?
Well, you know, there's no time like the present. And this is an amazing time right now because if you're an empath, you're opening up to so many experiences. You're having so many sensations out there, and you're reading much more deeply into things and into other people than you perhaps ever have before. And the guides have so much that they're sharing with us. You know, Tom and myself, we do a weekly channel session just for us to get the insight from the guides to help them share with us. And we love to share them every month too with our Live with the Guides online channeling that we do for everyone, as well as our own Circle of Light community. So there is so much just bubbling to the surface right now.
You know, I'm really kind of amazed at this show tonight because really there's been a number of themes that have run through about really owning this yourself and seeing this as internal versus external. That's a big change for us because we're really so used to thinking externally. It's why we complain about the economy, the government, and it's all external. And so this movement, this awakening towards our internal self, our soul, and really understanding our soul, I think, has been an important lesson we've learned from the guides.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, the guides often say, you humans, you love your drama, you know, and it's even what we call entertainment. You know, we call entertainment drama, you know, but wouldn't it be lovely? And I know, Scott, you feel this, and I know Amishar feels this, and I know the Awakening World community feels this as well. Wouldn't it be lovely to say, I love my love? I love the connections I have with my brothers and sisters and with planet Earth and my animals and everything like that. And to get invested in that. And that's what we call the shift. That is the transcendence. That we're right on the precipice of right now. And that's where our focus needs to be.
Now, I'll tell you one other thing that really struck me that the guides have been teaching us all along, and they've been sharing it with everyone we let them share to, or we're given the opportunity to share with. And that's it. This is really about joy. And so a really great way to think about all of this is, what's the connection to my joy? Right? You just saw a wonderful example of that. And I just love the poetry stuff,
Susan,
because
wow.
the joy,
Yeah.
it's all about joy. And so the guides keep reminding us, hello, excuse me, this is about joy. That this isn't about arduousness. This isn't about some rough awakening. This isn't about, struggling through till you figure it all out and everything changes. That all of this, and especially your connection to Source, your alignment with Source, the result is joy, right? So even throughout all of tonight, I kept hearing them say, would you have fun? Would you have fun?
Yeah.
You want to have fun? I'm
Yeah.
having some fun.
Yeah, it's so funny because the guides say that the lessons we learn from joy are equally important and equally as valid as the lessons we might learn in pain or suffering or denial or anything like that. And they give us the question, they say, which would you rather choose?
Right. And guess what? Ascension is going to be joyful. I think sometimes we think Ascension is going to be this tremendous
rude awakening.
Rude awakening, or it's going to be somehow a higher self where we've lost joy. No. It's all about joy. We're going to beam joy, and joy is really what enables us to unconditionally love.
Yes, and it's going to encircle the planet. Once that fire starts, it's going to be contagious and wonderful. It's really going to be something.
So I know that people often say, well, how can I embrace joy? That's really selfish, considering all the pain in the world, what's happening, and, the suffering. So what's your response to that, or what have the guides said about that?
I'll tell you what the guides say, because what AJ and Tom say is probably not half as profound, but what the guides often say, because they do hear this a lot, is you cannot be hungry enough to help the hungry. You cannot be in enough pain to help those who are in pain. That there's not a reciprocal nature to this. That's our guilt. That's our ego that says to us, gosh, somebody else is unhappy, so I should be unhappy. Where the exact opposite is the case. You have a light. In fact, the guides say that you are a great beam of light. You are a lighthouse of light. And being a lighthouse of light, being in your full joy, is exactly how you're going to contribute to the planet.
Yeah, and it's like a smile. When someone gives you a smile or an unconditional hug, you feel it, you take it in, and you can't help but smile back. It's that sort of contagiousness, if you will, because your higher self meets you at that frequency. It's really quite something. Beautiful.
What else would you guys like to share, tonight? And you guys are on fire, by the way. I'm really
we would love to have the guides speak, and we'd love maybe you or your audience to ask some questions of the guides.
Yeah.
If you've got some time, we can step right into that. We can have Tom do a brief alignment meditation with everyone, and then bring the guides in to answer all those questions. And there's no question too large or too small for the guides.
And especially about this subject, about ascension, about disclosure, about all of it. They're keen to all of that because it's where we're living. And again, vibes are pretty high already here. So let me just get us to focus in together.
Yeah.
And real quickly, before you do that, I want to read a couple comments that have come in. And invite people to put your questions in the chat box.
Yeah, please.
Joe Craig writes, let joy interrupt you.
Yeah.
Saw a webinar on divine energy this week through Humanity's team, and it focused on us staying inside, not relating externally, but shining our light and love with Source, the secret of happiness. Yeah. I love the love I feel from AJ and Tom.
Oh, we love you too. Thank you.
Nayla writes, I sense many more dimensions to be opened. Doug May writes, stepping into our love and joy as the best way to steer ourselves through these delightfully dramatic changes. Thank you, Tom and AJ.
We would agree.
Blake writes, yes, let joy wrap your soul in its warm embrace. Zach just writes joy with about 7 Y's at the end. And Ayada is enjoying the show very much tonight. So there we go. Okay, take it away, guys.
All right, let me get us all sort of aligned a little bit here. I'm going to ask everyone, please, to take 3 deep breaths in and out. In and out. In and out. And continue your breathing at this little bit slower pace, really allowing yourself to enjoy the deliciousness of the air that goes in and out of your body without any effort, any thought on your part, filling every cell, feeding every one of your cells with life force. Allow yourself to continue to feel Earth's energy as she comes up from your feet and your seat, as she holds you steady with her gravity, always holding you firm, always filling her nurturing energies into your body. As your crown chakra allows in the energies of the divine, nice big open crown, allowing in all the energies of beautiful violet silver light that joins with the energies of earth and connects together as above, so below. Now we open our third eye together. We all have a third eye to reach out into the etheric realm, to meet our guides wherever they are. And so I encourage you to look out as we call forward our beautiful guides and your beautiful guides, asking for them to share their wisdom, asking them to provide the answers that are necessary for you to live a life of joy. We invite them and thank them. We ask for them to enable AJ and I to communicate your messages clearly and concisely for the greatest and highest good of those who are listening.
Indeed, dear ones, we are grateful for this opportunity of communion with you today and to share in your energies. And we wish to provide to you perhaps but a glimpse of our recognition of what beautiful, special jewels, lights that you are, that we see in you, for you to have an idea of your capacity, your essential place in the transformation of consciousness at this time on the planet. For your incarnation now is intentional, and you're coming into your own awareness of your role at this time is essential. But first, dear one, start with yourself. Start with a recognition of your own light, forgiveness, if you will, and allow any occlusions of self-doubt about Source's love for you and your place in the universe to evaporate as you shine out as beacons, as you shine out as points of light, as contrast in these dark times for others to find and to follow and to share.
Dear ones, we watch you as you beat yourselves up. And we wish for you instead to feel the love that Source has for you. For it is not based upon performance. It is not based upon a right or a wrong choice. Do you know that your incarnation is all choice? It is all constant and consistent choices, none of which are good, none of which are bad, all of which are there for your learning, for your knowledge, for your clarification of what it is that you desire. You have heard us say to you before, and we shall say often, that it is the time now for you to simply allow you to set your desires, for they are magic. They have the ability to form, and all that is needed is for you to become clear, perhaps even just for a moment, For your desires will change, they will grow. Circumstances will occur that will clarify them, that will change them. There is no right or wrong, and so no beating yourself up, for there is nothing that you can do that is wrong.
Indeed, dear ones. And so at this time, we wish to share your energies and to experience your frequency and vibration through answering your questions of us tonight. We are eager to hear.
Your mic, Scott.
We talked earlier with Laura about the bifurcation. What do the guides have to say about that?
We do not care for the term timeline. We find it too linear. And you perhaps have noticed by now, much is not linear. In fact, much moves in chaotic ways, but purposefully. For there is no straight line. We shall say to you that you always choose your experience. We shall say this again, for it is important for you to understand there is not one great decision that you are making this pathway or this pathway, for you are jumping back and forth on a regular basis until you are clear about what it is that you want. And for words do not teach, experience teaches. And so as you experience in each timeline, in each experience that you have, you decide more and more, this is what I prefer. This is what I prefer. It was said earlier this evening, we heard the words that it is how much you are able to take. Let us correct this just a little bit by saying it is how much you are willing to take on. For listen carefully to fear, for fear stops always, even those things that you desire. And so should you wish to add more dimensions to your experience, it is there for you to do. It is available to you now. You do not eliminate any of the dimensions that have been a part of your experience up until now. You simply are adding more, and doing so gives you an entirely different view, yes? Now you can see perspective where you could not before. Things looked as if they were night and day. Now you can see in between in the gray. Now you can feel the energies, and the energies note often disagree with the behaviors or the words. As you read and can feel energy like you can hear words, now you're able to gain an entirely different insight. Should you wish, experience it, experiment, if you will, for it is available to you should you wish it. Let us tell you from our perspective, with many, many more dimensions coming to you than just those 5, we can tell you that with each additional dimension comes greater joy, for the experience becomes more intensified. Many of you perhaps ate today a tomato, and in eating the tomato, you simply added it to your salad or whatever, and took it in, and perhaps it was delicious, and perhaps it was pleasing, perhaps you did not even pay attention to it. As you add new dimensions, as you allow yourself to walk down this pathway, your experience changes, and now you suddenly taste all that happened to get the tomato to you, all that occurred for that tomato to arrive to you. Now you can taste on a cellular level all the things that make that tomato delicious and make it nutritious. An entirely different experience, yes? And this is why we say the result is joy.
Indeed, dear ones, coming into new times of clarity, as it were, for there is much fuzziness, much unfocus, much indecision. You must appreciate where you are drawing your perspective from. Many of you from this aspect of the cup being half empty, from pessimism, from doubt, from despair, and yet with a matter of clarity you shall see the cup and the container, and you shall understand that you can draw from its fullness, from its joy, from its pleasure, from its abundance. And so we say to you now, beacons of light, where are you deciding to place your consciousness? This is the clarity of choice before you at the moment, seemingly an aspect of duality, seemingly an aspect of bifurcation, and yet all a part of the whole. Nothing is separate, yet merely a defining clarity of your choice, of where you place your consciousness and where you derive your higher joy.
And then you move as you move. In other words, your capacity is not arduous. It is simply there for you. And so you are walking a path of life. Yes, you are moving forward day after day, and yet you are noticing and experiencing additional things. And you're asking yourselves, do I like this? Is it enhancing for me? Am I understanding greater? You are starting to hear each other's minds. These are all choices available to you, all part of your being, none which require your work.
Beautiful. Omashar has a question.
Dearest one.
Dearest ones, I don't trust the voices that I hear in my head anymore when I ask deep questions. Is there a specific place in my physical body that I should focus on, i.e. my third eye area or my heart area, to hear that still small voice, or to hear my higher self speaking to me when I ask questions? Because when I do ask questions, a million things, my mind speaks to me in that which it could seem to me to be my higher self, but I don't trust my mind anymore.
This is the critical element, is your trust. You are trying too hard to make sense of it, and you are focusing on an audience. You are focusing on who else would hear those thoughts and who would say this makes no sense. For it is not a matter of your physique. It is not a matter of your physiology. It is simply your openness, which is occurring for all of you. Again, a choice. You can shut this down should you wish, and many around you do. We cannot imagine this to be true for you, beloved, for we see your open eyes, we hear your open thoughts, and therefore we would say to you to trust. Not all of it is for all others. And so it is important for you to continue to ask for discernment. For many of you are feeling much rushing in, conversations that do not seem to make sense to you, words that come to you that you cannot find context for. This is fine. Simply keep them with you in your heart, jot them down, and then allow yourself discernment to say, what of this can I make sense of in a separate process? Do not try to do all of this at once, but simply allow yourself to clarify. Do you know that your guide, Source itself, wishes for this clarity for you? And so continue to ask them to make clear all these thoughts, to find direction, but not to respond to an audience, not because it will do something for someone. This is an outcome. Do you know it is not your concern about the outcome? It is your concern only for what is coming to you and your alignment with Source. And so ask Source to clarify and allow those clarifying thoughts to emerge. simply on them own, simply for your heart. And from there you shall find the path forward.
Indeed, we hear you and many of you saying, what should I do? What should I do about this? What should I do about these thoughts, these feelings, these behaviors, these impressions, these emotions? And instead we say to you, there is nothing to do but everything to simply be. Simply allow flow, simply allow breath, simply allow being in the present moment, and simply recognize where your frequency is at, and then adjust your frequency to your high heart, to those things that give you peace and well-being, and even if you dare, joy. For this is the power that you have to recognize within you where your frequency is at any given point in time, and say, not what should I do about it, but what should I be, and how would I enjoy being?
What we are suggesting to you, beloved, and all of you, is that you are now tapping into universal mind, a busy, noisy place. For there are many thoughts and many ideas that are flowing constantly. And as you seek to find your path, to ask what is of my greatest and highest good, to know, to understand, this will become clearer. Yet this is why we say the time that you need in silence is critical. You call this meditation. This is fine, as long as it is not busying you and allowing you to take the time to listen. It is this time in silence of listening that you are able to pare through and find distinctions. We remind you that as all of the interdimensional beings have access to universal mind, beloveds, not just the mind of humans, but the minds of the universe and all that is going on in thought across the universe, that in fact there is great joy and not hard work. And so as you enter this consciousness, believing that you must do work, then you have already thrown yourself out. And so allow yourself to simply trust and to simply enjoy and to listen for choruses. Many different voices are singing to you, allowing you in to the larger conversation that is occurring. We wish to speak of this for a moment for you, for as we have been talking about ascension throughout the entire evening, we wish to remind you that this preparation you are hearing about throughout the evening is essential. The time that you spend in practice so that you can quiet your mind, so that you can listen through, so that you can work from fear to joy is exactly the work for you to be doing now. It is exactly, we say work, it is not work. It is a simple joy, it can be play. When you allow yourself to simply say, I have access to new conversations, allow me to listen without fear, with pure joy, for I shall find there fragments of my own heart and my own mind being added into the mighty stream. We say, let the river run, let it flow, for you are a part of it all.
Indeed, dear one, and as an added gift to our dear Omasha, we shall add a musical reference for you, dear one, and we say simply to you to let the sun shine in.
Thank you.
Eleanor Joy wants to point out that you've addressed her silent question, so you tapped in.
This is our job.
Zach asks, what about the fear that joy will end?
It's not possible, dear one, for the universe only expands and creates. It only sends out the frequency of creation, which is based in love and joy itself. It is simply antithetical for you as a living part of all of consciousness, for anything to end, for anything to stop. It is simply a matter of expansion. And so as we say to you to open your heart to higher frequencies, and as we said, let the sun shine in, to allow these higher frequencies to come to you, for these are aligned with you. These are part of your natural states of being. They are undeniable and immutable.
Listen carefully, beloved, to your thoughts here, for you are declaring ending as a part of the universe, and yet there is no ending. It is a myth, for humans believe they end. Eras they believe end. And yet you know exactly what occurs is that energy reforms, for it cannot be destroyed. So we are not saying that joy itself is not perishable, though it is not. We are saying to you that joy as an energy, as a frequency, for it is a frequency, it is not an emotional reaction, it is not a circumstance. It is simply a frequency that you are able to acquire at any time. We will give you a secret. The door is appreciation. And as you move towards this appreciation, this joy, you may resurge it at any time. You may find that it reforms. It is less simple than it once was, perhaps. It is perhaps less giddy than it once was. It may be reforming into a different, deeper type of joy than you have experienced in the past. But beloved, you hold the dial. You are the one in control of the frequency, just as you are in control of all of your frequencies. It cannot end, for you will not end. It will continue. You will continue.
Many of the people that I know are concerned with the idea that by not addressing the horrors going on in the world, that we are spiritually bypassing. Do you have any thoughts about that?
We would love to discuss this, for we believe it is so important as you are building your energy, where it is that you are directing that energy. Do you not believe, do you not accept that your energies are strong and strongest when they are coming together? When you pray together, when you commit contender, when you intend together, this is when the intention is as strong as it can be, stronger than thousands and thousands of you individually trying to make change. It is your light that has an effect. You know this, for you have seen yourself or others walk into a room with a vibration that changes the entire room, yes? You have seen a room brighten and come alive when a vibration is high, without a word, without an action. You have seen when the opposite is true, a very low vibration brings the room down, sucks the air out of the room, as you say. This power of yours, it is a power. It is your light. It is a part of your soul. Now, some of your lights are weak only because you are not returning to the energy source. This is so easy for you to do. For source is source. There is no mistake in this word. Source is the source of all of this frequency. And so as you align to source, as you listen to source, as you align your thoughts towards source and its nature, then you shall find that you have far greater power to emit your light. and it has a far greater effect than you have come to believe, not just for yourself, but for all those around you. And so we would encourage you to come together in groups, especially though you may do this on your own. It is more powerful in groups. Come together and set an intention. I intend for this to occur in this country. I intend for this to occur in this city. I intend for the greatest and highest good. I shine our collective light towards this. And then we encourage you to watch, perhaps not immediately, but soon. And as more and more of you do this, this power grows. This is the point of your awakening. It is that you can change your planet by coming together and agreeing upon the greatest and highest good of all. And so, no, it is not wise for you to ignore. You should not look away from the horrors, as you call them, that is occurring around the world. You should shine your light. You should shine your light. And we encourage you to do so together, for your light is so powerful when you shine it together.
Indeed, dear ones. Put simply, we remind you that darkness and contrast are very necessary, for they are the foundations which help you make new decisions and point you toward the light. This is their very function, to always help you make new decisions, new conscious decisions, to move toward the light, to send you higher, not to drag you down.
Now, at times, what you shall find is an intensification. There are many of you who are intending for a change in your government, and you are seeing an intensification in your government. This is moving the boil to a bursting point, as I believe you have heard already this evening. And so the question becomes, is the greater and higher good being accomplished as I continue to send my light? And this does not mean all resolves in an instant, but watch carefully to see how things advance. More and more are waking up to say, I am not happy with this. This does not give me joy. I am not satisfied. I wish for something more. Are the magic words. And so we encourage you to keep focused on the highest good in your intentions, to shine that light, and to allow things to work out, for all of the universe is in support of you.
Dear ones, this is the very definition of the transcendence we talk about, of the ascension that we talk about. It is there before you in this contrast and in this recognition of your own light and the decisions you can make therein.
And shining your light is fun. We shall say again, there should be no arduousness here. Come together as a group and shine your light, laughing your way through, for the power that you are realizing you have is the source of great joy.
A question that's connected to what you just have shared from Celeste. She asks, so would you give the holistic and spiritual communities permission to celebrate No King's Day with joy for small d democracy and capital D for divinity?
We would encourage you to enter everything with joy. This does not mean you cannot add your voice, but we would encourage you to go to such events, not with a fist raised, not trying to make a point, for no one is listening to this point. We are sorry to say to you, your power, as you come together, is exactly what we are speaking of. It is collective intent. And so you come together with your fellow citizens and you say, we envision something better. We envision something best. Now, this is an important point we wish to make to you. For some of you go to these events to complain. And then to notice all this does is to reify the negative. All it does is to say this is bad. And so all that the universe can hear is more bad. They keep talking about bad. And so we shall give them more things they consider bad. We would encourage you to go to an King's Day or whatever event it is that you are going to. And instead to say, we see something better. We envision something brighter. We envision a world of freedom and love. And we agree. We agree with one another on this. It does not matter that you do not agree with us. It does not matter that you believe you have greater power. It does not even matter that you have a force of some kind that could arrest us all. None of this is as powerful as your collective belief, your collective intention. Go with joy. Focus on what it is that you wish. And this is the power you are creating. We are delighted when we see the joy that we have seen in these events, when individuals come together with someone they have never met before, someone who is quite different than them in every way. And they say, we agree. We come with the same intent. And together our intent combines in powerful ways.
Indeed, we see you coming together to form new communities of light. And so we say to you to create anew. What shall I create from this? How do I intend to live co-creation with my brothers and sisters and the environment? And how do I prepare in new communities to open up to the conscious connections of the shared mind and the higher frequencies and communion of the interdimensional and extraterrestrial brothers and sisters that are all beside you right at this moment?
Celebrating with you. This means we are suggesting a bit of discipline for you, and that is to step away when the gathering is one of discontent, purely one of complaint, one of upset, that does not feel joyful. For it is not accomplishing anything for you. It is not changing the energy, it is simply reinforcing it. For when you go to war, then there is war, there is battle. But when you go for peace, then there is a different energy provided. We would encourage you towards this direction.
Dear ones, this is the promise of America that is before you at this time. As you gather in light, as you gather in consciousness, a massive statement, a massive declaration shall be made in the forming and structuring of something new that has been decided in light, not in opposition.
And see how across the entire planet similar things are happening, similar forms of awakening are occurring. But we encourage you to lead the way in your union, in your agreement with one another towards the greatest and highest good. And do not worry about what it is that you do not want. Simply focus on what it is that you wish.
Look to your Lady Liberty, dear ones, who steps forward with her arm raised and her beacon of light held aloft.
That is such wonderful advice, gentlemen. Thank you so much. I absolutely agree. It's about what do we want to create and holding the highest vision and shining the light of our love on our positive vision for the new earth, for the awakening world, as opposed to putting our attention into complaining or making wrong. I could not agree more. And I So appreciate how eloquently and beautifully you've spoken all of that. Thank you
And
very much.
here's why, beloved, you are sitting in front of the microphone, yes? Why you have been given responsibility to share messages with so very many. We shall say to all of you, you are doing far greater than you give yourselves credit. And so we encourage you, no more concern over mistakes or slow growth. Simply allow yourself to move forward with what you have been given, what you are finding, and ask for more, ask for more. But in all of this, know how deeply you are adored by Source, how deeply you are adored by the universe. For many of you still think that your extraterrestrial brothers and sisters, those from other civilizations, are already mad at you. They are not. They instead see the potential and know who you are and who you can be. And they await to have the interaction with you. They await to embrace you. The universe wishes to embrace you and not reject you. We leave you with this encouragement, and with this we are complete.
Celeste says, this is so beautiful. I'm crying.
Oh,
And
us too.
that was so powerful, gentlemen. It was just, I mean, I don't know, this is probably the sixth time on the show or something. And that was my favorite
Yeah.
of answers and sharing. You know, it's just,
I tell you what, Scott, they're getting more intense these days.
They're coming through very, very powerfully, and they've got some phenomenal messages, and we'd love you and your community to join our community at Speaking from Source and be a part of our monthly online channeling group. Visit our website, Speaking from Source. We can book a private session there if you'd like a one-on-one, a deep dive with the guides, and we'll provide you with a full written transcript, because as you know, they can be very deep and meaningful, a lot to take in all in one sitting. So you'll get a transcript there with your session. You can be a part of our community. Community is forming all over the world. And so we have our own Circle of Light community that we love to share as well. Check out our channeling events. You know, we're going to be with Neil and all these other wonderful
Cast of
people
thousands, Scott.
at the New Living Expo, and we're so delighted to be a part of that. We'll be doing a special channeling there, as well as having a booth.
great. And I'll look forward to seeing you in person.
Yes.
There, of course, we'll be there. Tell us a little bit about your Circle of Light community.
Sure, we'd love to.
I've got the website up. I don't know if you guys can see, but I've got the website up.
Yeah.
And for everybody, one more time, it's SpeakingFromSource.com. SpeakingFromSource.com.
So the Circle of Light, both AJ and I, and you kind of heard it tonight, the guides have been talking about the importance of our collective. And so as AJ and I keep reflecting about that and asking the guides, well, what should we be doing? In addition to sharing your messages as often as we can, what should we be doing? And they said, gather together. Bring people of like mind together where they can share what they know and what they believe, not unlike what happens in this community. We're seeing communities form all over, circles and circles and circles. And so we wanted to form a circle as well. And the idea is to provide support, to let people have a place where they can come together and not have someone think they're crazy and not have someone to think they're talking a foreign language, and just an opportunity to be part of a larger group. So
yeah, and also, to discuss the principles of the guides that they're bringing forward, like joy, that it's not just an exchange or an emotion, but it's a frequency. And that once more of us reach that level of joy, higher frequencies will become available to us as well. When you look at humans in our smelling senses and you look at dogs and their olfactory skills, they've got 150 times more sensing ability in their smell than we have. And it just goes to show that there is more available to us. We see it in other species that is coming. And so as we discuss these concepts that the guides are bringing forward, that way community is really, really important. And you know, with our community, if you join, you get to have free 12 channeling sessions, group channeling sessions with the guides included with that membership. So you not only get the wisdom of the guides, but the community and the insight to go with it.
And we're constantly asking the guides, what else can we do? So we're planning a podcast isn't really the right word. We'd like to have an open conversation and invite the community in to share their thoughts, share their experiences, so that we have, again, open sharing. As you've heard how important that is. This is a beautiful community. In fact, we love coming to this community, and we want to thank you for letting us come, because the community is really important right now.
Yeah, well, thank you. And it's true, there's all these different communities growing, and many of our participants that are here tonight are also part of Unity Earth, and also part of Soul Coach, and also part of the Connection Field, and also part of, there's so many wonderful communities, and we're all coming together in wonderful ways.
Yes.
Love
Keep going.
Yeah, love it.
Gentlemen, God bless you. Love you so much. Looking forward to seeing you in person at the New Living Expo.
Big hug coming to you there.
Yeah, for sure.